everybody, it's Carrie with Seed to Spoon. So it's actually a decent day outside. The snow is starting to melt. I know there's a little bit of snow back there, but most of it is melting, especially today. Today we're supposed to get really nice weather into the 50s, so all the remaining snow here should be going away here soon. But I wanted to make a quick video, and I wanted to make some of it outside since the weather is gorgeous for February. So I thought, what better day than to talk about everything that we are doing for this month of February. So this month of February is going to be a very busy one for me. It pretty much has already been. So I will talk a little bit about everything that I have already done and everything that I'm going to be doing for the rest of this February. First of all, I do want to address that we live in a completely different area than a lot of you, but a lot of this will apply to you wherever you live too, maybe just at a different time frame, or the seed starting areas will apply to you too, maybe just starting some different things. But we are in zone 7. We live in central Oklahoma. So this month we are starting a lot of things indoors. And if you aren't sure what you can plant in your area, make sure you download our free app from Seed to Spoon. So in there, it'll walk you through growing over 100 different fruits, vegetables, and herbs, but it also will tell you exact planting dates based on your location. So if you live, somewhere completely different than us, you can pull it up and, obviously your dates are going to be different than ours if you live, somewhere up north or even further south than us. So if you go into what plant you want to do, it'll show you exact planting dates based on your nearest weather station. So that pulls in the averages and your expected last frost and your first frost. So it'll pull up dates exactly for you. And also on that main screen too, there is a filter tab that I want to mention because this is probably one of the most helpful things that I use, especially this time of year. On that main screen, I press can be planted and it pulls up all of the plants that you can get started right now for your area. So whenever I go through and I want to start some seeds, especially for this February, I go through and I click that can be planted, and then I scroll through all of those different plants. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you are starting your seed shopping. We always get started very early. We did another round of seed shopping the other day and ordered all of our peppers and tomatoes and everything for this year. So we're expecting those to come in here this week, and we're going to be getting those started here soon too. So if you haven't already ordered those, make sure you check out our app also. So if you click through on the app and you go to one of the plants that you want to plant for this year and you go to the types tab, it'll pull up all the different varieties that Park Seed has. So you can click that shop now, or you can touch that picture and it'll pull you to their website, so you can order seeds directly through there and you can look at all the different varieties that they have available. Sometimes towards the end of this month in Oklahoma here, where we are in zone 7, we can get started planting some things outdoors like our greens, our kale, our lettuce, spinach. It's really easy to get over eager, so make sure again that you check the app and you make sure you check your can be planted dates and you pay attention to your weather also, because sometimes we have random late freezes and it's really important to know. But the beauty of how we plant things is we do a lot of things in either raised beds, so like these big smart pots where we can carry them and move them inside if we have a late freeze, or we can cover them too. As you see, we have these like PVC domes across our bigger smart pots, and we just place some plastic sheeting over top of that. So if we need to protect our plants, we can do that. So that way we can get away with planting things a little bit on the early side and get a head start on our season. Onions and chives are two different plants that I love to start this month also indoors. So these are two that are very different, so you definitely need to have both in your garden. And sometimes people don't necessarily realize, I know we definitely didn't whenever we first started growing. We thought that we could just, chop the tops off of the onions and have green onions. But we didn't quite realize that that would hurt the bulb. So we ended up having to plant chives also. So we use chives for our green onions, and then we use onions for the bulbs. So having both in your garden is really important. So chives are actually a perennial, so we have a lot of chives growing right now in our garden. It does really well. It stays alive through the winter. Well, we can't harvest from it through the winter, but it stays alive and then it comes back in the spring, and it does really well. So we definitely, we don't really need to start any indoors at this time, but I am going to be starting some onions just so I can make sure that we have some onions this spring. So I've already gotten quite a few seeds started, and I will take you inside so that way you can see my seed starting area that I have going. Okay, so now I am inside our house. This is one of our smaller seed starting areas that we have. And over behind me, we have, this is called a biodome, and it's underneath some grow lights. So if you do start seeds inside, it's really important to make sure that you have them under some grow lights or some light source, or really close to a very sunny window. You're definitely gonna need a lot of light to get seeds started. So having a light source, especially one that's like right above it, like what's behind me, is really important. And I'll show you our bigger seed starting area too, but I like to start with this just because this is more like what people usually do. Okay, so I'll show you everything that I got started already. Okay. And then, ooh, we have more growing. It's very exciting. I love it. Here, let me turn it down so you can see a little bit better. Take this cap off so you can see. So I have some Brussels sprouts, and then some cauliflower, and then also broccoli. So I have a mixture of different varieties that I try. I like to do a bunch of different varieties just because I like to see like what does well here, and I like to have a different types of things. So especially like some of this broccoli is sprouting broccoli that we can continue harvesting from smaller side shoots, and some of it is broccoli that you will just harvest like the great big head of it. So I have a video that I just made over the weekend talking about each of the different varieties that I have started here. So check that out if you're interested. It goes over the differences between different varieties of these types here. So this is the biodome that we have. I love it. This is a 60 cell one. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up these vents. Oh, here, I'll show you. I opened up these vents right here since all of our seeds have sprouted, pretty much all of them. So I wanted to let some more air in so that way we can have some airflow in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these back underneath the grow lights back here. And then every so often I do come in and I check to make sure that there's plenty of water down here in the bottom, because this it pulls water from the bottom and it keeps the plants moist from the bottom. So it's doing a really good job. I just planted it this weekend, and now we're on Tuesday and most everything is already sprouted. So it's really amazing. I'm loving it so far. So if you have a small space, I highly recommend getting something like this, that's this size, that would, it really helps you like keep it manageable, and you can get started, a lot of your cool season crops this way. So this way, whenever it is time to plant broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, those plants outside, I can go ahead and just transplant these directly outside. So I still have some cool season crops that I haven't gotten started yet. I still have some cabbage, some kohlrabi, bok choy, and things like that I still need to get started. And so I'm definitely going to be working on getting those started here, hopefully this week, getting some more of my cool season crops going. So this is the indoor area. I'll show you what we have. We also have another area in our shop, our garage, where we have a bigger stand, and I will show you that. Okay, so I'm in the back of our shop back here. We have two separate stands that we have a bunch of different growing trays on. So over here we have a bunch of growing trays, and then we have like little cups that we put inside of them, and we get a lot of plants started this way. So up above we have shop lights hanging up above them, and we have these really cool little levers that we use to adjust the lights, because it's really important to make sure that the light source is really close to the lights, to the seeds, especially when you are just starting them, and then you gradually raise them up as they start to get bigger. So out here, I have a video Dale did that he went really into depth about how he made all this, and he got it with mainly parts used off of like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So he did it really, really economically. So I will link to that video as well, so you can check that out too. So this month is going to be a lot of getting this area set up and ready to go. So I still need to get some seed starting soil mix out here. So I'll either do a prepackaged soil seed starting mix, or I can do a mixture of either peat moss or coconut coir and vermiculite or perlite. So we do a mixture of those two and mix them together and put them in here. So this is probably where I'm going to get most of our tomatoes and peppers, things like that started. And then I'm gradually going to get them potted up and have them into way bigger containers before they eventually go outside. So that way I have some pretty decent sized plants whenever I go outside with them. That way they are producing fruit faster for us and they will do better that way. So I do have a very busy February ahead, and I will be videoing it as I go along as we make this seed starting mix. And as we get all of our seeds started, I will show you everything that we're getting started, and I will keep you updated how our plants are doing also. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section and I will get back with you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.